Welcome to National Review Online on location. I'm here with Cathy McMorris-Rodgers. I'm Kathryn Lopez from National Review. Thanks so much for coming here.
Great to be here.
This is a hip location.
That's right. This is a happening place.
Apparently. And exciting. Have you been around CPAC yet? You were on the House floor today. You were working the House.
Yes. I've been to this event, though, before, and
Sure.
It's so fun to see just the energy, the youth that is here, conservative activists from around the country that are here, and especially in an election year like 2014, this is especially exciting.
And you're tasked, of course, with recruitment, particularly recruitment of women and other candidates this year. Are you sensing a lot of excitement, or are you sensing, there are people who are depressed and despairing too, as well.
Right. Well, when it comes to recruitment, we are about identifying leaders, that next generation of leaders from around the country, and I am excited to see a lot of our recruits, and especially some women, some dynamic women from across the country that are running on the Republican ticket. And, in 2010, the most recent off-year election, the Republicans, we had a record number of women elected to the House, and we had a record number run, and we won the women's vote. So when I look at 2014, I have high hopes for how we're going to be doing, especially on the issues. When you look at the economy and the difficult time it is to find a job, and the impact of Obamacare, especially on women as the decision makers as it relates to healthcare. This is 85% of the decisions related to healthcare are made by women. Mm-hmm. They're the ones nudging their husband to go to the doctor or taking the kids, and they want to be able to make the best decisions for themselves and their family, and Obamacare is taking that away.
And that's a point you talk a lot about, the fact that women make a lot of the basic economic decisions in a family. Yes. It drives you crazy, doesn't it? How the other party talks all the time as if reproductive issues are the only issues that matter to women.
Yes, and women are entrepreneurs. They're starting businesses at a record rate. Women that are starting businesses in their homes, but also just women that are getting more involved in politics. And that is what encourages me the most. I think for a lot of women, for many years, they were focused on their families, their careers, their community, and they look at that plate of responsibilities and they're kind of like, politics, I'll let someone else take care of that. They're just trying to get their kids to school and take care of things at the home and give back to their community. And now they're seeing where their children's future and the opportunities that this country has to offer are really at stake, and that they got to carve out some time.
Now, you talk a lot about how Republicans have to be better about telling their story. Mm-hmm. One of those stories is your story, right? It's the fact that you're a woman working in the world. You and your husband make it all work.
Yes.
Everyone has to do it differently. How can Republicans better tell that story? Is it part just by being out there, the witness of it all?
Well, I think that is part of it. I think that it's just making sure that people see Republicans that do represent every corner of this country, every background, every walk of life.
Right.
And, Republicans, fundamentally, we are about empowering the individual. And as the federal government gets larger, the individual gets smaller. Mm-hmm. And so we want to empower the individual. And we can connect with people all across this country. But I think we have to tell our own stories. I've lived the American dream, first in my family to graduate from college, worked in a family-owned business, and got involved in politics. But we also need to make sure that we tell the story on issues, too, like on Obamacare. We got to tell the story so that people know that we understand what they are facing, and that we are taking action based upon what we learn from them. And so we have collected, for example, on Obamacare, over 25,000 stories from people all across this country that have either lost their health insurance, are seeing their premiums go up, don't have access to the doctor that they would like, because we want to be able to tell those real stories. We all hear them, but that's how people relate. We relate to one another based upon connecting.
Right. Now, there's a disconnect when we talk about women in politics right now. Later this month, the Hobby Lobby case will be heard before the Supreme Court. And so many, instead of talking about religious liberty, people really do think we're trying to take away rights from women.
I know.
How do we better communicate on that issue in particular?
Well, I just think that we have not communicated. We allowed the Democrats to frame it that we were somehow trying to take contraception away from women. That's not what
People
it is
believe
about.
That.
Yes. This is about a federal government requirement, mandate, and that actually goes against your own conscience.
Right.
You know, this is the federal government telling you what is best and forcing you to make decisions, whether it's Hobby Lobby or individuals that would be forced to make decisions that are counter to their religious beliefs, to their conscience, and that is what is wrong. And I think we just have to do it. We just allowed the left to win the debate on that. They set us up, and we didn't handle it as well as we could. But I just think that women are starting. You know, I think they're paying more attention to what's going on. I think they're seeing more women run for office. They're getting more involved, and I think the Republicans have a great story to tell when it comes to empowering women. You know, celebrating new heights that they're reaching, the leadership that they can bring, and the important role that they play in the future of this country.
You talked about telling American stories on Obamacare. You, of course, got a little grief from Stephen Colbert for doing that the other day. So how was it being the House Republican den mother and getting the Colbert treatment?
You know, I am just honored to be serving in Congress. I just am working hard every day to do a better job of connecting the principles that I hold dear as far as individual liberty and freedom and opportunity for all, and making sure that the next generation has even a better opportunity than I've had. And America is a great country. And I want to just keep celebrating America, the amazing country that she's been, and make sure that we continue to lay a strong foundation moving forward for that next generation. And sure, there's going to be critics out there, but you know what? I'm just honored to be here, to be a part of it, and do my part for the next generation.
You are so optimistic, but it must be frustrating being across the bridge from here and having to be the party of no all the time, and having that numbers problem here in Washington. How do you stay optimistic while being realistic?
You know, again, this is where the Republicans, we must present a better way forward. We can't be the party of no. We have to be answering these questions and presenting a vision for America that will cause America to want to follow our lead and put forward those aspirational goals, and not just be the party that's in opposition to whatever the Democrats are doing, but to be the party that is for a better alternative. And you've seen this year where we have put forward a tax reform proposal. You know, let's have a debate over tax reform, a simpler, less costly tax code that would help grow our economy. That's the Republicans leading, and we're going to be putting forward. You've seen us put forward healthcare solutions. We're going to keep playing that out this year. No, we don't want to go back to the way things were, but we can do this better, and that's the responsibility that we have as Republicans, to be really presenting that better way forward.
Do you think you'll have the majority in the Senate next year to work with?
I hope so.
How's Cole doing?
Cole's doing great. He's in first grade. He's reading. He's doing his math. Yeah, he likes to wrestle with the other boys at times. But you know, he's just a total joy and delight.
That's a good sign, right?
Yeah, pretty normal.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.